All right, my friends, welcome to episode 71 of Prof and Dev Play Games. I am the Professor Larry here with a cold. Sorry for my voice. And over there is Anthony.
The dev,
How's it going,
without a
man?
cold this week.
No cold, but you got snow.
I do have snow. It is accumulating right now. I can watch it out my window.
That's
It's
weird.
We're up to about a half inch right now.
And how far
So
above sea level are you?
about 100 feet,
That's,
200 maybe.
Yeah, crazy.
You know, in the middle of the sound. So
Right. Yeah, you're on an island in the middle of the water.
yep.
Wow, interesting.
Yeah.
Climate
So
change,
I'm
man.
pretty sure that this has been a rough winter when it comes to snow. This would be like the third. I'm pretty sure I'm not going to be able to get out of my house tomorrow to get down to the ferry.
So you're gonna
So
work from home.
I'm going to work from home,
Yeah.
but this is like the third time this year. Usually, if we do get snow near, it's like only one time.
Hmm.
But
I guess we'll see if your internet holds up through the entire podcast.
internet's up. We'll see. But knock on wood. But it's always been typically fine.
Yeah.
Like the snow usually doesn't like wipe out any of my internet or electricity. Knock on wood again.
Yeah. So if you go down, we'll patch you back in.
Yeah.
So for this episode, we're going to have a discussion of our video game book club from January, which was To the Moon, and then Anthony will reveal our book club selection, video game book club selection for February. We got some news about Gamestop and Horizon Zero Dawn, some 3DS, BioWare, and then we'll talk about the games that we are playing. So let's start with that To the Moon. You finished it before I
Yeah.
did, but we both clocked about 4.5 hours.
Yeah, something like that. Mine might be a little bit longer, but I left it idling for a little bit.
Yeah, I did as well. I left it idling for about 20 minutes while I was hanging out with my wife, so
Yeah.
it's about 4 hours,
Yeah.
a little over. Did you do any of the mini-sodes after it, or just this?
I have not. I've been tempted to though.
Right. I think I will eventually.
Did you see the sequels coming out next in the summer?
I saw that they were working on another game. Is it a sequel to?
It's a sequel. It's the
Okay.
same two doctors.
Wow.
And it's one of their next jobs, another memory.
Okay. Well, I'm definitely interested in that.
Yeah. Um,
I think
Yeah.
if they clean up a few of the mechanics, I'd be a little more excited. But
yes.
then we'll get into that. But I wanted to ask you, people, whenever they talk about To the Moon, they talk about how emotional it is, and by the end they're crying. And I certainly was. I was crying at the end. Not like, racking sobs or
Yeah.
anything like that, but definitely tears sliding down my face. How about you? Were you emotionally invested in it like that?
I was. There's definitely. I don't know if there were tears at the end. There were tears at a couple other points in the game, though. The reveal about the meeting River at the carnival.
Right.
When they
When they're
have
kids
the talk.
up
Yeah,
on
and
the-
he gives them the platypus and
Yeah.
gives her like that part got me a lot.
So, for people who don't know anything about this game, basically, you are playing two doctors who are infiltrating the memories of this old man who's asked you to be there, who's dying, because he wants you to fulfill his last wish, which is to go to the moon. And through the course of kind of going through his memories, you find out there's something not quite right. There's some memories missing. And you find out some things about his life, find out that he had a twin brother and the ramifications of that, and this woman that he loved. The doctors end up erasing her from his memory, basically. And I thought that was super interesting when the doctor kind of went rogue
Yeah.
and was telling you're basically like,
Yeah.
I don't know, she's throwing obstacles in your way so she can take.
She's like, I have to stop this meeting from happening.
That's right. So she takes the river out of the situation. And when that happened, I was thinking they're gonna meet at the end anyways. I don't know if you thought that or not.
I did. I mean, it's alluded to. The doctor, Rosalind. Yeah, Rosalind's the female doctor,
Yeah,
and
Neil and
she's
Rosalind.
very clear that she alludes to that she's like hoping that they would meet at the end. Like this would, again, because it's all built on his memories,
Right.
that River would show back up later.
Yeah, because that all that stuff didn't actually happen, I guess, in real life, but it's his memory constructing that.
Yes.
Yeah. And in the end, they become astronauts and go to the moon. And
Yep.
God, it was just so good.
It was.
I was
It
really
had some twists, unexpected twists. I
about
was not
the twin brother.
the twin brother.
Yeah.
The even smaller things like whenever you're learning that River, I should say the main character's name is John
Right.
or Johnny. His wife River has Asperger's. Like as if that's slowly kind of peeled back as time goes on.
Right.
Because you know something's up, but they actually mention. I had to go look it up. Tony Atwood, who is a real doctor.
Oh, and that was one of the notes you
books
get.
on Asperger's.
Oh, okay. I didn't know.
Yeah.
I didn't know that it was Asperger's, but I knew it was something in that spectrum.
At first,
basically.
I thought it was it was in the spectrum. I thought it was autism,
Right.
like mainly, and then they mentioned a doctor specifically, and I thought I had heard of it before, and Googled it and was like, oh, it's a guy who's done a ton of research on Asperger's. Okay.
Awesome. I should have taken that step. I'm glad you did.
Yeah, I mean, I think overall, like, I was totally invested by the end of it.
Yep.
The beginning was slow.
Very.
I didn't know where it was going.
Right.
I kind of pushed, but I still was intrigued enough to be what was actually going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess it worked out there. Like, yeah, it's slow, but there's enough of a mystery that you kind of want to keep pushing along a little bit.
Yeah, I ended up playing the first hour back on like January 6th, and I knew I'd be sad, and I thought it was intriguing, but I didn't come back to it until like January 24th or something, just because it was so slow. For me, like just moving around the map, just like Oxenfree, basically, like
Yep.
moving around the map so slow. And
I would agree.
And the mini game, like the memory thing, where you find like 5 memory nodes, basically.
Oh, yeah.
That mini game was just kind of, to me, it wasn't that interesting.
Yeah, so one of my problems, like playing through this, I was like, I like the story, I like the characters, I like what they're selling, but this is actually part of me, I'm like, where it felt like they were just trying to put game things in.
Yes.
So they could call it a game.
Exactly.
I'm like, you don't. I wouldn't even have a problem if it was like finding the little memory things to go back.
But not
if those
doing
were
that
just little
game.
notes
Yeah.
to be like, oh, just add depth to the character and like what you're doing.
Right.
But yeah, the little flipping the tiles thing, I was
Yeah.
like, this is kind of pointless in some ways.
And I didn't see any reason why, if you did like, so basically there's a grid of tiles, and on one side's the picture, and the other side there's nothing, and you have to flip them so they're all
The picture.
showing the picture. And when you flip one row, all the tiles flip. So some flip picture side, some flip the back side, whatever. But there's like an optimal amount of turns for each
Yeah,
one.
that was weird too.
But what does that do if you get them all optimal?
I don't know, because there's only one achievement in the game. So
yeah, and that's just beating the game. Yeah, so I didn't really understand.
There's a lot of like, I feel like game stuff just here for the sake of game, not for the sake of the actual story.
Yeah, and I felt like a little bit when you're controlling Neil and Rosalind's kind of throwing obstacles at you. Like that kind of felt
It
gamey
was kind of, yeah.
and unnecessary, in my view.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just felt like they're trying to make like a video game there when they're already doing. Those are like the worst parts, I thought, when they're trying to shoehorn those mechanics in.
Yeah. So they're not the first people to try to do stuff like that, where they're worried that their game won't be taken seriously if it doesn't have enough game in it.
Right.
Biggest thing I can think of is the original BioShock. Like, it hits its climax, its twist, and you're like, good, that's done, but they still tack on another couple hours of game.
Oh.
And put a final boss where the game just doesn't need a final boss.
Because they think games need bosses.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sucks.
And that was back in 2005. And so I have a feeling there's been a lot of interviews and stuff where it felt like there was pressure for that from publishers and things like that. Of like, well, it has to have a boss.
Right.
But I feel like this game also was. I mean, when did it come out?
2011.
2011?
Yeah.
I don't think there was probably a lot of what people would consider walking simulators back then. Or just.
Like a Gone Home.
I think there was still
or something.
probably pressure to we got to make it a game.
Right. Instead of
where
an
I'd be like,
experience.
no, it's okay. You can just be an experience. You can just tell
Yeah.
a good story that I'm interacting with. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, and I think it would have been better. I think it's good. I think it would have been like
Yeah.
really, really good or even great if it had some of those things
Yeah.
missing. And I hope the sequel has learned from that a bit.
Yeah. Trying to think of other things
I thought
with
that
this.
the pixel art was good, and I thought the music was like perfectly suited for the kind of mood of the story.
Did
Even though
you
it was,
catch the name of the person who did the music?
wasn't it the Kaz or not Kaz?
No. Laura Shigahara.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know who
She
that
did
is.
the music for Plants vs Zombies.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I've met her.
Oh, nice.
She's been at PopCap. I mean, um, yeah, she did music for PVZ. Um, she was at the time the girlfriend, fiance of the creator of PVZ,
Oh,
George
okay.
Fan. Like
Hmm.
they were, I think, living together. And she does music, so
Yeah, it was. I thought it was so good, even though a little
so
repetitive. The piano music
yeah, they
was
definitely didn't do a lot of music for the game.
no, and it was
Um,
sparse. I thought
yeah,
that there was like a melody line, and it kind of just repeated. There wasn't like a chorus verse kind of thing.
yeah. So
It was just so good, and the pixel art
which
I thought
I
was
didn't actually know that she did the music
until the
until I
end.
saw her name. I was like, oh,
I know her.
I'm like, I know her. I yeah. So
That's cool. Um,
it
sorry, go ahead.
yeah, I didn't. I like the pixel art as well. I thought it was busy, a little busy sometimes though.
Like in the front yard when you're trying to get to the house and
Yeah,
you don't know where the path
like
is and where the stairs
yeah, it was
are.
definitely like trying to be reminiscent. Like to me, it reminded me a lot of Chrono Trigger specifically.
Right.
It's style, but it didn't really nail the backgrounds great for readability. Like they just kind of were really, really busy pixel art.
Yeah, and for me, in terms of the readability, I definitely saw that in that opening scene where you're outside the house and you keep going back to that area, trying to find where the stairs were and differentiating it from like where you couldn't walk the ground.
Yeah,
That was hard for me to figure out where to go. And when it's so slow and just the interface of moving around by clicking and um, it just wasn't smooth for me, and
no,
it kind of detracted from the experience a bit. I wish that the movement was a little bit more intuitive. Um, and the other weird thing about the artwork was, there were a couple times where it switched from pixel art to like, I mean, I don't know if it's still pixel art, but it was more like a hand drawn kind of
yeah,
cartoony thing, and that was a little jarring for me.
I agree.
And that kind of matched the gameplay too, where that was a little jarring for me too. Like I don't imagine it was this person's first game they made.
It was the first game from this company, like this indie company.
Okay.
So I don't. That is a. Yeah, I don't know. Can Gao
That's it. Yeah.
is the
Right. But it just kind of came off to me a little bit like someone's like maybe second project or third where they're still trying to
yeah.
hammer out like, I don't know, like it felt like a good second draft and like the one more edit would have kind of ironed those things out a little bit more.
I agree.
But I think it was worth playing. I really enjoyed the story, and I was able to get past some of those technical issues pretty easily. I think that because it's part of the book club, it made me come back to it sooner than I probably would have, because I needed to finish it by today, obviously. So
Yeah, but it's definitely. I just played it in one sitting.
the
One
whole game.
day. Yeah,
Wow.
it was in one day basically.
Uh-huh.
Because I took a break because we recorded it. It was last Sunday.
That's right.
I played it. We recorded, and then I finished it after we recorded it.
Okay.
After we recorded. So, which I feel like that's the way to do the game. Just block out a morning or an afternoon, evening, and just take the 4 hours. Just play through the whole thing.
Yeah. I did it in 4 sessions of 1 hour each, which was fine for me. But once I got past that first hour and kind of came back to it, then it was like 3 days in a row. Like I wanted to get through it. So yeah, I don't know. It was enjoyable for sure, and it's something we've both had on our backlogs for years. So it's nice to finally play it and be able to be part of the conversation, especially since, like you say, there's a sequel coming out this summer.
Yep. It is called Finding Paradise.
Uh huh.
So Yep. Um, I saw the Steam page for it actually,
Okay.
because that's already up. Yep, Finding Paradise.
The art style looks very similar.
Yep.
Like even the load screen, begin, load, exit. Like wow.
Yep.
Okay.
Um, yeah, and they're just it's another of the doctors going into creating a new memory. So
Well, this one image of like second to last on the Steam page where they're on a cliff and there's a tree, straight up
yep,
looks just like it's from To the Moon.
yep,
Oh, that's interesting. I'm gonna put that on my radar for sure because was not a bad game.
yeah. Yeah, it's on my radar now. Like I'll definitely probably pick it up when it comes out. I wouldn't mind another. I like the doctors, Rosalind and Watts,
Yeah, I
enough
really like their
that I'd be actually interested to continue their storyline.
yeah. Well, I also found them to be funny. Like they were trying to be funny,
Yeah,
and it actually was funny, and that doesn't always come across.
no. Uh, but yeah, I give thumbs up to the Moon.
Yeah,
I would say
absolutely.
not groundbreaking, but enjoyable, and yeah, brings the emotion, brings the feels.
Yeah, it definitely did. I haven't felt that emotion like that in a game in a while, and I'm looking for that experience, so I was happy to have it.
Yeah,
So you're in charge of our book club book for this month, which
yeah,
is a
I
short month.
am. Uh, and my choice is Orwell.
Oh, okay. I like it.
So I don't know if it's a game. I haven't looked into it if it's a beatable game
Or if it
necessarily.
keeps
I
going.
like. Yeah, I've no. I assume there's a story there, but
I think
I'm I'm
it's
very curious about it.
I think it's episodic, isn't it? So I assume there was an end to it. Let's see on how long they think it takes to beat the game, because that might give us a clue. Um, that doesn't help.
So I guess it is. It's episode 1 is what's there now. So we'll just do episode 1.
Okay, we'll do episode 1 of Orwell. That sounds good.
That's what's out right now. So
Um,
I,
I don't. Hold on a second. Orwell on. So it says main story for Orwell 4 hours,
okay.
and then when I look up Orwell in my library, I have. You bought me the full game, so I think it started coming out. Let's see here.
Okay, maybe it is. Their page
October
is
was the
kind of
first one.
weird. Their Steam page doesn't really. Maybe it's just the demo is episode 1.
Yeah, the demo was episode 1,
Okay,
so I'm pretty sure
that's
this
what's
is
gonna be. So
this
it's
is
the whole
full
thing.
game.
Yeah. No. All right. Yeah, that one's been very intriguing to me.
Yeah. It's a good game to play right now. Basically, Big Brother has arrived, and
Yeah.
it's you. Investigate the lives of citizens and find those responsible for a series of
Yep.
terror attacks. Um,
Yep.
yeah, that's gonna have us give us something to discuss for sure.
It will, and ideally in games like this, and like this reminds me in some ways of a Papers, Please kind of thing.
Right.
Did you
Which
play that?
I actually bought it today for the first time because the guy's donating all his profits for this week or whatever
Oh,
to ACLU.
I can't play that game.
No?
It's it's rough. Like it definitely makes you understand how you would kind of feel, or even just give you that bl- slight uh, viewport into having to work as a cog in a totalitarian government,
Yeah.
and just being like the choices that you have to make to just live and survive and like save your family kind of thing, keep them alive and have food.
Right.
It it's rough. Like you play it and you're like, these are hard decisions.
Well, I'm looking forward to trying it out.
So
But
it it presents things in a way that you're just like, okay, okay.
I think looking at Papers, Please and Orwell looks like technically more clean, perhaps, or
Yes,
cleaner. Um,
it's different. Orwell's definitely a similar, trying to do a similar thing of like you are working for this authoritarian kind of government.
right.
But this, you're like hunting people down, and Papers, Please, you're working as a passport agent.
Oh, okay.
Customs trying, like, people coming and going into the country. So you have to, like, look at the papers they're submitting, and things are changing on who can come in and who and what they need to get in, all sorts of stuff. It's you'll see.
Sounds pretty real life.
It is real life, and that's one of the reasons it was really hard to play.
Yeah.
Like, played it like an hour, and I was like, I can't do more. I just can't.
Well, I wonder how Orwell is going to be for you, because here it says that the information you supply will have consequences, and I think those are going to be
I'm sure it will.
ones. Yeah.
And that's okay.
Are you going to play it on Steam?
Yeah, I'm going to play it on Steam.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think you have the demo right now. I don't think you have the full game.
No, I'm going to get it.
It's a mix of LA Noire, Her Story, Papers, Please, and Telltale Games thrown in. That sounds pretty rad.
All the reviews have been very positive, so
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it.
That sounds like a perfect kind of game for our game club.
Yeah, and like you said, it's relevant to the current climate of the world.
Yeah.
So
Cool. Great choice, Anthony. Looking forward to playing that. I'll probably start it tonight after we get off the horn, to be honest. So our news this week, we're going to start off with a story that I think has made both of us pretty pissed off. And I'm going to have you take the lead on this one, actually.
Okay. So this comes from Kotaku. They put up an article mid last week about a new Gamestop program that encourages, in some ways, their employees to lie to customers about if they have new games as opposed to used games.
Well, even new systems, which...
Yep. The whole thing, because they want to sell used.
Exactly.
So we can have an explicit warning, because I'm going to say, fuck GameStop as a developer. Fuck them.
That might be the title of the episode right there.
Yeah. Not going to mince my words there. I have no love for GameStop. I haven't stepped foot in a GameStop in at least 7 or 8 years. They have pissed me off so bad so long ago. And that wasn't even because of all this crap. It was mostly having to deal with jackass employees.
Yeah, that's always a problem.
It was so... Which they may not be jackasses, but because of the policies and what they're being evaluated on from a corporate standpoint, makes me very just... It brings out the things I don't like about salespeople. So
yeah, and I think that there are some assholes. Like, I've met some as well, but there are lots of nice people as well. So it's definitely not all GameStop employees. But the idea here that one of the examples in the article was someone walks in and wants to buy their Watch Dogs is on sale for $30, and they will tell you they don't have it in stock, even though they do new, because they'll hope you'll either buy the $54 used one or that you'll just leave. Because it actually hurts them to sell the new product. Which, the thing that drives me nuts is about like digital price parity with what's in retail. Like, if there's no middleman, like, the digital game should be cheaper than the one that's in the store, but we want to make sure that GameStop and these other retailers are selling our hardware. But if GameStop's not even selling the hardware, like, I don't know, then sell the digital stuff cheaper.
Yeah.
And undercut them.
It's true. And I mean, a lot of this stuff where we should call the program is the Circle of Life program. And they score, each store and employee has a Circle of Life number attached to it. And basically it's a summation of certain quotas for people trading in games, selling new games, and selling used games.
Right.
And of course, they want people to sell used games because their profit margin is so much better on used.
Right. They don't have to share that with pretty much anybody.
No, and they've also usually, when people trade stuff in, they give them store credit. So that just more money that the people are going to spend in their store.
Right.
So it just pushes all the bad sales buttons in my head. And as a developer, it's like, great, we'll just keep selling the same used copy over and over.
And
Which
then you're not getting
I'm
the
not
money
necessarily
for that.
opposed for selling used stuff. I mean, back in our day, I bought used CDs, things like that.
Right.
But it never was pushed. Like, I wouldn't go into a retail music shop and then they'd have their used bin or anything like that. I go buy used CDs from thrift, Salvation Army or anything like that, or a local record store. Nothing crazy like that. But as a developer, yeah, I mean, the game industry can't survive on just selling used copies of a game. Like, that doesn't work. That just overall makes total sales and developer money much smaller.
Yeah, I think it's just a huge, like, fuck you to the people who are coming to your store to buy things. Like, you're going to lie to me? If you're
Yep.
lying to me, then I'm not going to spend any money at your store. And I don't spend money at GameStop anymore anyways because Amazon or Best Buy have those rewards programs so that games are cheaper anyways. And I don't know. I haven't really bought used games in a while. But there are a lot of people who do, and that's the way that they can get cheap games. So
It is true, and I mean, people are on the lookout for cheap games. I kind of feel like GameStop has to start pushing this more and more because sales are going more digital.
right.
Like when I talk about buying used CDs, people don't buy CDs anymore. It's all digital. You don't trade your digital music.
Right.
I mean, for the most part, people, like, I guess you could give it to people and get it illegally still, but it's so easy to get music legally paid for now, and it's cheap.
Right.
That people tend not to. And I feel like games are going the same way. I mean, Steam PC's sales have already gone that way. It's just one of the reasons you see no PC games in GameStop for the most part.
Right.
But with PSN and Xbox Live and Amazon Digital, it's becoming much more common just to get all games, even console games, digitally. It's kind of why you see a lot of collector's editions coming out for retail, because
that's the way that you get
that kind of appeases the retailers.
Right. Well, people were falling all over themselves to get like the master edition of the Breath of the Wild or whatever. So that's, you can't get, you can't get them anywhere else. And like, for example, the Fire Emblem Birthright or whatever, Fates, the whole thing was a GameStop thing that I bought, and I wouldn't have purchased that game except that it was the way to get all three of them on that cart.
Yeah.
If I bought it physically, so, which I promptly then scalped. So
yeah, there's even other company like Square Enix has their special editions for their games.
Yeah.
But they don't sell them through retail. They sell them from their own store.
Yeah.
They sell them themselves. And I kind of feel like that might be the model as time goes on more. Because I honestly, the clock's ticking for GameStop as a viable company.
Right.
From like just selling games. Like, again, every year it's just going to be, the digital sales are just going to be more and more. And they also have to compete with Amazon, to some extent Best Buy, although Best Buy is also competing with Amazon. Really, everyone's competing with now. And you can get physical copies through Amazon release day for 20% cheaper.
Yeah.
If you have Prime. So that's it's hard
to compete.
Yeah, you're like, I have to go out to a store and get this physical copy, or I can just get it delivered to my door release day, cheaper than I'd have to pay.
Yeah, I was with Breath of the Wild, which I pre-ordered today. I was debating about getting it at Best Buy in person or getting it delivered by Amazon, and basically having faith that Amazon would deliver it to me release day. If not, then I would go to Best Buy and pick it up. But then again, I'm still relying on Amazon to send my Switch, so I don't know when release day that'll show up, or even if it will on release day.
Yeah.
So, because I know games do. I'm not sure if the Switch will or not.
Uh, Consoles usually do.
Okay.
Um, you'll know beforehand. They'll tend to let you know if they can actually fulfill it or not. But
Right.
I got my PS4 came through years ago. Came through Amazon. It was here PS4 launch day.
Oh, okay. That's good to know.
So they try. They
Right.
definitely try.
And if
So,
it's like a day or, I mean, the problem is it's a Friday. So if it's like a day late Saturday, I'd still get it. But if it doesn't come Saturday, then I gotta wait till Monday and I'm back to school. So
yeah, I'm trying to think. I haven't had issues with release day games from them myself. I've had other people that have, but no, I can't think of anything in the past couple of years that hasn't shown up on when they said it's going to be on here on release day. It's here.
nice. Okay, that gives me some faith. I think I've told you I'm 80% now. Probably gonna keep the Switch.
Yeah.
I'm still kind of waiting for the digital account slash virtual console, but yeah, I think I'm probably locked in.
Yeah, that's. I'm excited. I will wait. I'm pretty much going to get it in the fall. That's my hope.
With
Okay,
Mario
go.
and stuff.
Yep, Mario, Zelda, and the console.
Well, you can play some Zelda when you come down here.
That's true. It's true.
So I'll have it by then. Next piece of news is not really news so much, but there was just an avalanche of Horizon Zero Dawn kind of impressions that came out from literally everyone under the sun.
Yeah.
I watched like the Kind of Funny Games. I watched Easy Allies, a couple of the videos.
I tried not to watch anything.
Oh, really?
I read roughly I wanted to get general, like, are impressions positive or negative? They seem positive,
Yeah.
so that's good. And then, like, the stuff that was alluding to, like, what type of games it's similar to.
Yeah.
That's all I was like, good to know. That's all I need to know. I will try to go in the rest of the way blind until when I get it.
When I was watching the videos, I kept thinking of Shadow of Mordor. Like, it really reminds me of Shadow of Mordor / Tomb Raider with a little bit of Far Cry. But in this article that you linked here from Polygon, their quote is, and Guerrilla Games seems to have nailed the type of gameplay that will draw in fans of Far Cry, Witcher, Elder Scrolls, and Watch Dogs.
Yep.
That's rad.
I was like, done. Okay, you're giving me robot dinosaurs in an open world like that. Sold.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Fuck that up. Well, I mean, it's easy to fuck that up, but I'm glad they didn't.
Yeah.
God, it looks good, and I canceled my
does.
pre-order, so I'm not sure when I'm gonna play it, because it's just too close to the Switch. Like,
Yeah.
it's the same week, so I'm gonna focus on Zelda that week.
That's probably a good plan. We'll see. I mean, I'm pretty sure I still have a pre-order. I canceled the big bundle.
Yeah.
I realized I had that still, and I was like, I do not need to spend $150 on it for a statue. I don't need a statue. Yeah, I have it. Yep, arriving February 28th. I am looking forward to that game.
Oh man, I think I'm gonna be able to hold off, but I really want to support it because it's the kind of game that I really want to play.
Oh yeah.
I think I'll probably get it within the first month of its being released. So
Yeah. I want to support Guerrilla Games for getting to do something not Killzone.
yeah. And man, when they first released this at E3 and just how it just captivated our attention and hasn't really let go.
No.
But yeah, the video, it was sold me on it. It's so good. Like, I'm definitely
Okay.
gonna get it.
All right. Yeah, I'm trying to keep my hype level down.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's gonna be the best game ever. I don't think it's gonna be better than The Witcher 3, for example. But it might be fucking close. I don't know.
Yeah.
Depends on the story, I think. And I've heard tale of the story. I don't know if you've heard anything about the story
Nope.
or not. Okay.
Not at all.
So I won't say anything. Next story I'll have you take because it's about Pokemon, which you're playing.
Pokemon Sun and Moon's incredible success means the 3DS's future is bright. This was a discussion with Nintendo saying that Sun and Moon sold 3.7 million copies.
Crazy.
By the end of the month.
And that's just in the U.S. Or not the U.S., the Americas. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, sold almost 14.69 million copies by the end of 2016. So 3.7 in the Americas by the end of November, almost 15 million by like worldwide by the end of the year.
That's crazy.
It's a lot of Pokemon. A lot of Pokemon copies.
And I think, it says that it's 3DS future is bright, obviously because there are so many 3DSs in the wild, but to me it seems like Pokemon's future is bright.
Yes. I think this is like Nintendo has been clear that they're not getting rid of 3DS support just because the Switch is coming out.
Right.
They have plans to support the 3DS for probably years going forward. They don't want to just drop it.
Yeah,
which makes sense. There's a lot of people, there's a lot of them out there. They want the goodwill there.
Absolutely. Plus the sales. I mean, there's 50, 60 million out there. And then I imagine it's cheaper to develop for 3DS than Switch.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah. 3DS is, I mean, lower resolution, lower fidelity. So you don't, like, just making games for it is cheaper.
Right. So I think that's enticing.
Yeah.
And it's, I don't see the Switch as taking over for the 3DS. Partially because the 3DS has the two screens and the 3D, which no one uses, but the two screen feature.
I actually was trying to think the Switch could do it if they switched it where you could hold the Switch in portrait.
Oh, that's right.
And they put a screen up top and a screen up bottom because it's touchscreen too. So
right. I wonder if that's in the works. That's a good idea.
And you could put like Joy-Cons on the side.
Right.
On the portrait side. Like, I could see 3DS emulation on the Switch. I could see it in my head how you could do it, but we'll see if they... I don't expect that to happen anytime soon. That could be a later in life Switch thing whenever they sunset the 3DS and then they start doing like a virtual console 3DS games on the Switch. But yeah, like, so this article was just interesting, mostly because of the Nintendo confirming that, like, we're not getting rid of the 3DS right now.
Well, and this article also mentions that it's still hard to find 3DSs in stores.
I haven't gone to a Target recently to see.
I haven't either.
I do know, like, yeah, right around Thanksgiving before Pokemon Sun and Moon came out, yeah, like, the Target in Seattle.
Let's see if I can get one.
Downtown that was just, like, was pretty sparse when it came to, like, your choice of 3DS. They had, like, a couple.
I'm trying to see if it's so 3DS Galaxy is check stores, but the 2DS...
I'm sure the 2DSs might be able to find.
Whoa. Okay, so online, the 2DSs, yes. All the 3DSs are check stores. And sorry, items not available within 250 miles of my zip code.
Who are you using?
I'm looking at Best Buy right now.
Okay.
Whoa. Okay.
What happened there?
That thing's still sold out, huh? Jeez. I wonder if it has anything to do with them,
Oh, actually, I'm looking on Target.
So
just a red 3DS XL, new. Is that new 3DS? New 3DS. I'll just do the black one. Yeah, they're not in stock anywhere in the Seattle area.
Yeah, and the Best Buy.
No Target, nothing. No in store. Can't even buy one online.
Wow. I
had no clue.
I thought those things had probably replenished at this point, but yeah, Best Buy is the same way.
Okay. Good to know.
Galaxy add to cart. Nope. Can't add that one to my cart. Wow. Okay. Well, that's good to know. I wonder if
I guess Pokemon spiked 3DS sales.
Yeah, I guess so. Geez, like a ton. And it's a cheap kind of Christmas present. It was $200, and some of them you could get. I mean, the 2DSs obviously you can get for cheaper, but
yeah, and they did do special deals. They did that.
The Amazon
bundle. Yeah, they did a couple of those bundles. So yeah,
good. I mean, it's a freaking rad.
System's going strong. Yeah,
it's rad. I was playing mine. Oh yeah, with all the my Nintendo account, like getting coins for Super Mario Run and Fire Emblem Heroes. I was able to get the Zelda Picross. Twilight Princess Picross. So it's kind of like you can only get it if you have my Nintendo and have enough coins. So I've been playing that on my 3DS, and that's been a lot of fun.
Nice. Nice little reward for playing Nintendo games.
Yeah, I mean, I wish they'd have more. I hope they have more of that stuff where it's like a digital only, like you only get it if you know, are a member and have enough coins, and that kind of just it feels special, and it's not like
Yeah.
junk that's gonna sit in my house.
Oh, totally.
Speaking of junk that's gonna sit in your house, apparently next March there will be a new BioWare game.
A new BioWare, new IP.
Right, it's like a redefined action adventure.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means.
That would be a game like Tomb Raider,
Oh, okay.
Uncharted, something like that. Like less RPG elements, more focus on the action gameplay.
How do you feel about that? Being like a huge BioWare fan and being into like their stories and the RPG stuff.
As long as their story, because the story is the main part. Because I'd actually say the RPG stuff is okay most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
Not the most incredible on the systems themselves. Because even like let's take Mass Effect, which I learned saw today 10 years ago. Mass Effect was 10 years ago.
Right.
So they're especially 2 and 3. They focus like when you play those games, it's like the combat aspect of it is really good. The RPG systems are minimized in the Mass Effect games for the most part. You level, but
Yeah.
you have minimal choices.
Well, in Mass Effect 2 and 3, I just auto leveled. Like I just had it pick for me.
Yeah.
I didn't really care. So.
Yeah.
Which is probably
It-
blasphemy, but
I don't know because it's not completely necessary to pick and choose unless you're doing super hard difficulties.
well, that's true. I played them all on easy, so.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. So I'm not upset if they try to do something that isn't really an RPG and they just want to tell a story with cool characters. I mean, they've proven that they can make stories with cool characters. So, and that's mostly what I'm in their games for, more than anything.
Right. That makes sense. It's just interesting that it's so soon, like Mass Effect and Andromeda.
This is happening. So different studios.
Oh,
So
yeah.
it's all BioWare.
You're
So
right.
BioWare Montreal is doing Mass Effect Andromeda. BioWare Austin does the Old Republic MMO, maybe some other little things. And then BioWare Edmonton, the last thing they did was Dragon Age Inquisition. 2 years ago?
Yeah.
3 years ago?
It seemed like quite a while ago, actually. Yeah. 14, maybe.
Yeah, so this is a game being done out of Edmonton. So they've been working on this probably for years.
Yeah. Well, and it's supposed to be out by the end of, Q1 2018, but
So that's by March. I mean, that's not shocking. We'll probably see stuff at E3.
it could be out in the fall, theoretically. I mean, if
It won't be.
yeah, especially a new
I
IP.
don't think so.
New IP
No,
seems
I
like
think
it would
they'll be
launch in
launching
March.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm not really shocked by its coming out because I know it's been worked on for a while, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be Frostbite again.
Right.
That whole studio cut their teeth making Dragon Age Inquisition on Frostbite. So, and now Andromeda's on Frostbite. As a company, EA and BioWare know Frostbite now. So
Yeah.
it'll be Frostbite. So tech they have. So really it's about the IP. And I really have no clue. I heard before I left PopCap years ago that they were working on new IP. But I never knew what it was.
And this is it then, huh?
I am certain this is it. So, your guess is as good as mine.
I have zero guesses. I mean, action adventure. I thought the same thing.
I'm going to say it's
Uncharted,
probably going to be more modern-y.
instead of a
'cause
sci-fi or a fantasy.
I doubt it's going to be a sci-fi or fantasy because they already have those franchises.
Right.
So, I could see it being set near future. Maybe it has like a modern paranormal or modern fantasy take on something.
Mm-hmm.
But who knows? I'm just spitballing there, just based on like the other games that they make.
Right. Yeah, it's hard to guess other than it's not the things they have now. So that I
Yeah.
think pins it as modern or recent past or recent future.
Yeah.
Or near future, I mean. So
So yeah, I'm okay, BioWare gets to make something new.
I mean,
So
if your favorite developer makes a new game, like look at Blizzard who made Overwatch, which is something that
yep.
they hadn't dabbled in before, and it's like one of the best games I played. So
Which yeah,
do it.
yeah, it's time. It's totally time. They've been doing Dragon Age and Mass Effect for, I mean, Dragon Age, but even before Mass Effect, man, before they decided they got rid of the D&D and Star Wars licenses, they decided we're going to do our own thing.
Right. They can own the IP.
Yeah. So this is like the first new IP that buy out of them in uh, 12 years, 13 years.
Wow. They must be ready for something new, I think.
Yeah. It's very cool. I'm excited.
Yeah, cool. Someone who is not excited about new stuff is, I guess, Carmack and Lucky and Facebook, who were making this new thing called Oculus, and they got sued by ZeniMax and lost
They did.
$500 million.
Yeah. And Facebook bought them for $2 billion, I believe. So Facebook's
A quarter of the price. Ouch.
yeah, it's a. I didn't know how this was gonna kind of come down, but man, that kind of hurts.
Well, and part of the trial that caught my attention was the part where they were going after Palmer Luckey and trying to basically paint him as not very smart, and there's no way that he could have created this stuff because he didn't know what he was doing. I'm not a big fan of Palmer Luckey, so
Yeah,
it was kind of fun. But 50,
I think that was definitely the defense painting it. Like,
yeah, absolutely.
he's perfectly smart. Like, he did a lot of the Oculus prototypes before like the Kickstarter and things like that
Right.
were him. Like,
No, yeah, he obviously knows his shit and way more than I
Yeah.
do. I just thought that was
Carmack
just
also knows
getting
his
punched.
shit, and
Oh,
the
yeah, absolutely.
two of them working together, not shocking. But
Right.
yeah, from stuff I know, like Carmack totally. I didn't know how this was going to come down because yes, there was a lot of conversation between Carmack and Lucky before the sale and stuff like that. Because Carmack's just really into VR, and he pitched really hard to ZeniMax to do VR games, to really like make a Doom VR, things like that.
Right.
And ZeniMax said, no, we're not doing it. And I think that's whenever he decided he was just gonna start doing stuff with Oculus and Palmer Luckey, because ZeniMax was saying that they weren't interested in pursuing any of it, and there was a lot of bad blood there between them.
Right.
So, but clearly, from a court standpoint, they did some things that they shouldn't have.
Well, yeah, there was enough there that
Yeah.
they were going. ZeniMax was going for $2 billion, and they didn't get that obviously, but 500 million's nothing to sneeze at, even for Facebook, I think. So
Yeah.
but I think they're going to appeal. So we'll see.
These things always get appealed.
Yeah.
We'll see how it ends up, but it's definitely not the best for Oculus and Facebook at the moment. But we'll see how that ends up. These things take years anyway. This has already been going on for a year and a half.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it got a little dirty, I think, with the accusations going back and forth.
Yeah. It's kind of bad. Yeah, it sucks. But
I mean,
well, hopefully it's just going to be paid off and then everyone can just move forward.
Yeah, it's business, so. So stuff that's not dirty and is actually pretty fun is playing video games.
It's true.
And we both talked about To the Moon, which is one of the ones we've been playing. I think we've been playing mainly the same things, except for your Final Fantasy is a different number than mine.
It is.
So you've been putting some time into Fire Emblem Heroes.
I did. Man, is it I am shocked at how much it is a typical Japanese free-to-play game.
Yeah.
Like
the gacha kind of thing.
Oh, like it's not just the gacha part of it; it's the way that the energy works, how the items work, how the like basically killing other characters to feed into other characters to level them up, and the whole combining mechanics, like they're not straying far from the path on of Puzzle and Dragon or a ton of other Japanese free-to-play games.
Yeah.
I'm really shocked that they didn't, because it's kind of hardcore. There's a lot of stuff there.
Right.
It was kind of overwhelming to me when I was playing it, going, not the actual tactical part of it, but the when you go into it and I'm like, all right, I want to see my allies. Which are your characters? And it's like, oh, my teams. What are skills? What are equip skills?
Right.
Level up, like advanced growth. Like, what is all of this? It's not explained.
You can like merge your players together. Like I had two copies of Archer basically, and kind of merge them together and increase my level, and added skills, and there's quite a bit of depth there. There's not really much depth on the field.
No, it's a very light Fire Emblem. It's still tactical. It's just small maps. The maps are really small.
And when the teaming, like for me, like Fire Emblem, thing I really like about it is teaming up with different people, and like your skills kind of synthesize, and it doesn't really happen here that much.
No.
Which is fine. I mean, I'm already through I think 4 levels of the story. Like it's fun.
Oh. Further than me, I'm on chapter 2.
Yeah, I'm on chapter 5.
I've been dealing with like training and other things.
Oh yeah, I dabbled a little bit in training, but I've just been kind of mainlining the story like I usually do with anything I play. And I've I spent probably 30 or 40 orbs on rolling characters.
Just summoning dudes.
Yeah, I've got a 5-star, one 5-star, which is Leo from Fire Emblem Fates, and then I've got a couple other 4 stars from somewhere else. I don't know where they're from.
Yeah, since I haven't really played Fire Emblem, I have no clue.
You don't know who's who.
I'm just like, I got some 4-star dudes. I don't know. I have Merrick.
I don't know.
Gaius.
Nah.
And Odin.
Nah, don't know.
I'm like, I don't know who these people are.
Well, there's so many Fire Emblem games to pull from. It's hard.
I know. That's why I'm like,
I've only played 2. I've played Awakening and then Fates, and only Conquest, or not Conquest, Birthright. Haven't played Conquest yet. I don't know. I think it's. I like how you can like make your different teams and kind of mix and match who you want to play as, but I find that the story is pretty easy to get through. Like it's not really. It's kind of a foregone conclusion that I'm going to win. To the point where I put in auto battle just to like get through it, because it's all about collecting and getting enough orbs to buy new things.
Yeah.
And I actually would have purchased a couple of orbs because it's a free game and I enjoy it, so I want to kind of put some more money toward it. But the orb prices are ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like that's not like
an
impulse.
$2 for 3. Yeah. And the thing is with it, when I look at that again, it's very similar to other free-to-play games.
The price structure, really?
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
Wow. I thought it would be cheaper.
Other RPG type stuff. So like I play that Star Wars. Here's the guy. I don't buy crystals in that game. They're so expensive for what you get.
It's crazy.
Like their premium currency, I'm like, oh, I can spend. Let's see, because I liked crystals. So $2 for 220, but the cheapest card pack you can buy to get not necessarily a character, but shards to unlock a character is 350.
Wow.
So, yeah, I mean, this is just free to play RPG, like free to play pricing. It's absurd.
Yeah, like it's $6 for 10 orbs, which 10 orbs will basically get you like 2 rolls. 5 and then 4. Like that's just for basically 2 characters. Like what? That's I will never buy orbs because that's just too expensive for me. To consider like 3 for $2. Like no thanks. I'll just keep earning them slowly.
But clearly some people buy.
Well, it's 2.7 million in the first day.
Oh.
And I was going to ask you if that's a lot or not.
$2.7 million?
Yeah. I mean, I know $2.7 million is a lot of money, but is that a lot for like a game like this on the first day?
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely, like right now it's sitting at number 11 in the top grossing.
Oh, okay.
So that's not even game. That's just top grossing any app on the the App Store right now.
Well,
So
the stockholders must be happy because that's likely to stay. Like, Super Mario Run was like up there for number one, and then
yeah.
once you buy it, you're done.
So Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes is number 19 right now in the App Store. Pokemon Go is 21.
Wow.
And so things tend to float around there. Like
Right.
if you can keep your game floating in the top 20, yeah, you're raking in money. Like just printing money. So stockholders will probably be pretty happy if it stabilizes somewhere in that top 20.
How is Netflix number two? Just like people buying
Subscriptions. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because it's monthly, I guess they get to count that.
Yeah.
Got it. Yeah, Fire Emblem Heroes number 11. Just below Tinder.
Tinder.
Yeah. No, I enjoy it. I think it's, as a Fire Emblem fan, it's, not the deep experience that you'd get from a handheld, but I think that's good because I don't know, I don't want them to repeat or copy what they have on the 3DS. Like
it's also trying to get smaller battles that you can be done within what?
Oh, like 2
minute?
minutes? Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
It's something that you can pull out. Is something we always used to talk about at PopCap was, can you finish a round of it while waiting in line at Starbucks?
Oh yeah, right. And you can
if you're you're waiting for your coffee to be made.
Right. Well,
and that's like the time frame you want your game to work in.
Well, I was in the car. We were driving somewhere. It was like a short trip, and I pulled it out just to like beat a level or two. And my wife was like, "What are you playing?" I'm like, I had to explain what the game was, and she's like, "Oh, because I never see you play games on your phone." I'm like, "Yeah, I know. It's weird."
You're like, "Yeah, they put a Fire Emblem game here." Sorry.
Yeah. I mean, Mario. I put more time into Mario Run than anything else on mobile, including Lara Croft Go. So.
Yeah, you're like, they're giving me games that I want to play.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. It's a good strategy.
It's a solid game.
It is. I'm just not going to give them any money because that's just...
prices are insane.
They are. They're too expensive. Like, that doesn't make any sense. Why would I do that?
Because they're for whales.
Yeah, that's true. I just thought there'd be like an entry point for like people who are willing to throw a few bucks at it, but...
I'm actually surprised there isn't a starter pack.
Yeah.
Or like a one-time purchase that it presents to you saying like, all right, because a lot of games do this where you start the game, get through like the tutorial, it then presents you with like, here's a like super cheap intro thing that gives you a bunch of hard currency, some of the soft currencies, and maybe a character or two for like usually $10.
Right. With
like,
that,
but it's a deal, and it's like a one-time thing, and you have like 3 days to decide if you're going to do it or not.
And that's something that I would have bought because I think the game's worth $10 to me. Like if it were $10 and you would have gotten quite a few characters, that would have been fine for me.
Yeah, you bring that up, and I'm actually really surprised they haven't done something like that. Like, it's... Yeah, they don't have any special... Yeah, it doesn't look like they have any special deals going on right now.
Yeah, no, not at all.
That's...
You're getting stuff for logging in, like, during the launch weekend, and that's fine.
No, I'm actually, talking about, like, the $10, like, entry.
Right. That's right.
Like, where you look at it and you're like, that's a really good value. I'll give you $10 and move on.
Yeah, and it's fine. Like they don't need me.
They might do it later
to support their company. Like I buy their stuff, I buy the Switch and all this other stuff. But it's good. It's as good. I think Mario Run's a little better at being a Mario game than this is being a Fire Emblem game. This is like that game is like it takes Mario in a different direction and it's really good. This one takes Fire Emblem in a different direction and it's okay.
Yeah.
So, which is fine because okay is good enough. And it's it's cool to know at least some of the characters and I got a couple characters that they were like 3-star characters that I played a lot in Awakening or Fates. So it was kind of cool to like be with them, quote unquote, again.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's definitely something I'm going to pull out and play missions here and there.
Yeah. I'll definitely get through the story. Even though, I mean, what story is there? I mean, it's not really a story. But get through that sequence because you get the coins for My Nintendo.
Yeah.
And
it's a story to explain why all these characters are together.
Yeah, to justify its existence.
Yeah.
But after I get through the story, quote unquote, I don't know if I'll stick around. Who knows?
Yeah.
Because I have Awakening and Fates to play. So it just makes me excited about the Fire Emblem stuff coming to Switch.
Yeah. And so we both played that, and then we both played Final Fantasies.
Yeah, but you're playing 7 again.
I am playing 7. I don't know.
You don't know
It was
why?
sometime like I didn't get to play it Friday, but like Friday hit and I was like, I have an odd feeling that I actually like want to push farther into 7. So back in high school is whenever I actually beat 7.
Yeah.
Like I've never beat it since then. I've started it multiple times over the years, but I usually only get like 3 or 4 hours in. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm in the city. This is fun. But something like there was an article last week talking about the relevance of Final Fantasy VII, the Shinra Corporation, the big bad corporation in it.
Like that picture I shared on Twitter.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
And it made me go, and how that like story has relevance to today. And I can remember some of the story and the key points. So I'm like, it kind of just sparked my interest again. I'm like, I need to get through the first like chunk of the game again. I need to get out of Midgard again.
Yeah.
I don't know how far you've ever played in it.
I've got to. It's kind of nice on the PS4 because you can do like the 3x speed or whatever.
Yes.
Which is a godsend.
It is a godsend.
But I got to the point where the first place where you rustle up a chocobo and you're trying to like run past the sand snake.
Okay.
So I get there and I can't get past it. Like you're supposed to like go past the sand snake to get into a different area or something. And every time I go past the sand snake to get into a different area, it puts me back to where I came from. It's really weird.
I don't know. I have to check again.
Dude, I want to show it to you when you're here because it's driving me nuts.
Okay.
Because I'd like to keep going through that game because it's a piece of video game history basically. And with those cheats, whatever, on the console, it makes it a lot easier to it's more palatable to me.
Yeah. So, as of today, I played it yesterday and today, and I basically had left a save game off on the PS4 at the second Mako reactor raid.
Oh, yeah.
And right before Cloud falls in and meets Eris.
Right.
And I was like, okay, I'm just going to play this thing through. I'm just going to do this. And I did. I got through... Today I got to Calm, the first village out of the town.
That's where I am. Yep.
And I listened to Cloud's story about Sephiroth and the whole thing and Genova.
Yep.
And then I stopped.
Okay.
I went out and I stopped. And I was like, okay.
We're
Because I'm like, I really just want to remember this again. I really want to like experience the opening again. And my kids were actually watching through large swaths of it. And my son had the exact same reaction back when I was in high school.
What was his
Whenever
reaction?
you like fight, you're doing the motorcycle race out of the city. And his first reaction was like, whoa, this is... Yeah, I heard him in the back. He wasn't really talking, but he's like, him and his sister are there. And he's like, isn't this cool? And okay. And I fight the like boss at the end of the highway, and it drops... You do a little scene, and then you exit to the world map.
Right.
And so in high school, I had the reaction of like really, you've spent probably 8 to 10 hours in Midgard at that point, like going like, oh, the game is this pre-rendered backgrounds you're wandering around, and then it flips to show you a 3D giant world.
Right.
You're like, oh, holy crap. My son was like, I first wanted, he's like, what is this? Where are you? I'm like, well, I'm in the world. He's like, what world? I mean, the world that city is. See the city I just came? He's like, wow.
Like way bigger than you thought.
Big.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah. So he even had the pure reaction of just like, holy crap, this game is huge. I'm like, yes, it is, kid.
Well, it was interesting how it changed. I don't know. You're in Midgard and you get to this open place running around different villages, and it seemed like a different game at that point a little bit.
Yeah.
Which was kind of a nice change of pace, but you are right where I'm at, so if you can just let me know how you get past that part, because I must be doing something totally stupidly wrong.
Okay, I'll see if I remember.
Yeah,
I'm also using guides, too, because I don't remember a ton of stuff in this game.
Yeah.
And, oh my god, games have progressed so far in controls. Holy crap.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it's so painful to control sometimes.
I'm just so glad it's sped up. Like, you can speed it up.
The speed up's fine, but man, there are just times when you're like, oh right, this game came out before DualShock.
Yeah.
So controlling it with the DualShock gets with a thumbstick sometimes gets really frustrating. They put weird timing mechanics in. I'm just like, oh right, I remember this is why? I get that you're experimenting with new hardware and really never have been able to do this stuff before, especially in a Final Fantasy game. But oh, it's not good sometimes. Not good.
Yeah.
I'm glad that the story and the characters keep me moving along
Right.
because
And that's the thing that's driving me nuts is I'm really interested in them, and I just hit that wall, and I was like, okay, well, I'll figure this out one day.
there's weird walls.
Yeah.
There's definitely places where I was like, what? Okay. How many times I couldn't grab a stupid swinging rope? God. You jumped too soon.
Right.
You jumped too late. I'm like,
Yeah.
God. Modern design would just be like, I press a button, I jump onto the thing. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, exactly. I had that same experience. It was chains or something that I kept missing it. I was like, oh my god. But it's interesting. It's kind of the way that I consume a lot of media now. Like I'll listen to podcasts at like 1.5 or 2 times speed, and audiobooks 3 times speed. And if I'm watching like Let's Plays of games, or like I watched Shadow of the Colossus, my friend kept harping on me to play it, but I didn't want to play it, so I watched it, and I watched it at 2 times speed. So I watched the whole game. And that's kind of how I consume media now. So I wish more games allowed me to kind of speed up the experience a little bit.
Yes. I agree. Especially these older Final Fantasy games.
Right.
They were slower.
Because I really want to go back and play 6 when I get through. I'm going to do 15, and I want to go back to 7, but I hear so many good things about 6 and 9. I think it's 9 that you were talking about last week.
9 is the one I really... 6, a lot of people really, really like 6. I enjoyed 6, but it's definitely not the one I'm like, I love this more than anything.
Yeah.
So
your top 3 Final Fantasies, if you had to name
them? 12, 9, and 7.
Okay.
If we're counting mainline, if we want to count non-mainline, Tactics 12 and 7.
Okay.
I think 7. 8 I like a lot from a story standpoint, but I don't like mechanically.
That's a game that I should probably watch a Let's Play or a walk.
I mean, it's interesting. It's just there's a lot of things you can customize mechanically in 8 that could be very, very interesting. But there's just some counterintuitive. Magic is a big one in 8. You don't have mana. You have just uses of spells, and you extract spells from enemies.
Oh, okay.
Which is great, and you hold them, but you then junction spells to stats to boost stats. But if you use those spells, each spell you use lowers your stat. So in like Ultima is like the ultimate spell, but you just want to stockpile it and junction it to a stat.
Right.
And
so
I don't want to cast Ultima because if I cast it, I get weaker.
Right. That's
there's just mechanical stuff that's kind of weird. The game scales to you as you level.
Mm-hmm.
So the lower level you beat the game, the easier it is.
Whoa. So
there's a lot of weird
like,
design choices made on system side in that game.
So there must be like playthroughs where people try to beat it at the lowest level possible.
Yes.
Yeah, that makes sense.
There's whole strats on how to do it the easiest way, which is like keep your level as low as possible.
Right. Wow.
So and that's kind of the weird stuff where I'm like, I really like 8's story, but mechanically it's just like flawed.
Yeah.
But yeah, I 6 is worth it. What can you play 6 on now? What's it's the easiest way to play
it
it?
on mobile, but I'm waiting for that collection.
Hopefully that they announce that thing, because that's what I want.
Yeah, because that'd be a way for me to play 9 and 6. So I'm playing. I'm playing. Sorry, go ahead.
Is the mobile one the really weird looking one?
Yes, they changed the art style.
Oh yeah, no. God.
Yeah, I'm not playing that way.
Actually, I would just say play 6 on emulation. God.
Yeah. Well, I think I can wait if they announce it and it comes to Switch. Like I don't know why, but like to play I Am Setsuna, for example, on the Switch, has me really excited. Even though I can play it on my PC or PS4, like just I don't know. So I think I want to play it in the handheld.
Oh man, you made me look at the art. Now I'm throwing up in my mouth a little bit.
Sorry.
God, what's that one? Oh.
I actually started playing Final Fantasy in the U.S. I guess the first one. It's on the NES Classic.
Yeah, that's original Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
Final Fantasy 1.
I played about an hour of it, actually. Woof.
Yeah.
I don't think I'll play anymore, but just
I was
because.
watching there's a Twitch streamer, Lobos Jr.
Hmm.
Does a lot of Dark Souls stuff and Bloodborne and things like that. But he did Final Fantasy 15, and after that decided he's like, all right, he's doing Final Fantasy Fridays,
Oh, nice.
and he's starting at Final Fantasy 1 through 13.
Dang.
Without the MMO, no MMOs, and he just already played 15. But he goes every Friday. He just plays it. I think he's on Final Fantasy 2 now. But I watched him play Final Fantasy 1. Holy crap! I'd much rather just watch someone play it than actually play it myself.
That's how I felt after playing for about an hour.
And honestly, it's not that really great. I mean, it's more interesting to watch from a, hey, look at all these things that they're still doing in these games 30 years later.
So it's more like a historical kind of thing.
Yeah, it's very historical. I really don't think you're going to see anything like, oh, this is totally like story-wise or character-wise cool to watch until like, I'll use the Japanese numbering, probably Final Fantasy like 3. I have that on DS.
Uh-huh.
They did a 3D version of it for the Nintendo DS, not 3DS, but Square Enix put out some ports. They ported, I don't know, definitely 3. Maybe they did 4 too. I don't know, but it definitely had more of a story to it and more character stuff.
Yeah, being invested in Final Fantasy 15 and kind of what the game's doing, it's making me want to play some of the older ones. So probably not 1, like you said, but
12's coming out this year.
yeah, 12, and that's like all 3 pieces, right? Aren't there 3 pieces?
No, 12 only had 1.
Oh, I thought that was the Lightning Returns thing.
No, that's 13.
Oh,
I
okay.
really don't like 13.
Yeah. I thought that was the MMO one. No, 14
No.
is.
14, 11, and 14 are MMOs.
Oh, okay. Yeah, 11 my cousin was super into.
Random.
Yeah, really random, because he would play Counter-Strike and he would play that.
Okay.
Yeah, figure that out. Or not.
I can't, because
Yeah.
I can't see why. Well, I guess 11 came out before WoW by like a year and a half.
Right.
So.
I don't think my cousin really got into WoW, but he played that game. It was weird because
Okay.
he never played any other Final Fantasy. He just, for
Okay.
some reason, got into that.
Okay.
Yeah, whatever. The other, let's see, what else am I playing? Oh yeah, 15. I got to like the Venice, the Altissia. The story's just fucking dumb. I really just think the story's stupid, and I kind of would want to put it down, but like, I love the mechanics, like the gameplay's really fun, and that's what's keeping me going. And I kind of want to know where it's going, but there's so much stuff happening off screen, and I feel like the writing just got truncated at some point, and they just needed to hurry up and finish the game.
Finish it?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's totally how I feel about a good chunk of that story.
Yeah. Even the gameplay, like going from open world to the more linear, like let's just finish this thing, and just it doesn't seem like what the game is supposed to be, and that's fine. I'll get through it, and honestly, I think I probably will platinum it just because it's so achievable. Once you're done with the game, I think there's only a few things to go back and do.
Yeah. Fishing, lots of fishing.
Yeah, and actually, I bought a new rod. Did you ever upgrade your rod?
I did.
I bought one at this weird, like, middle of nowhere fishing hole, and it's so easy to fish with that new rod and reel. It was so quick. I gained like 2 levels in one outing, basically.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
I just kept going. I fished everything out of that lake, and it was really quick. So, yeah, that plus Gladio's survival, I think will take a while.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
story, but the gameplay's
Story
fun.
is very.
I'm kind of looking forward to getting through it so I can move on to my next big game, but I think I'll be done with it right around the beginning of March.
Yeah. So.
And then
You'll know what your next big game is.
and that'll be Zelda. So I haven't beaten too many Zelda games, only actually Link Between Worlds. And I'm at the end of Wind Waker, but I have to find like the Triforce pieces, and it's just really dumb.
Yeah.
So, and they streamlined it for the Wii U version, and it's still dumb.
It's still dumb.
It's still dumb. So, whatever. Yeah. And then Overwatch, just playing more of Capture the Flag. It's just I sit down and play it for 20 minutes, and then I'm super close to leveling up or super close to another loot box, so I'll just keep playing, and I end up playing for like
Nice.
2 hours. That game is just 5 more minutes over and over and over again.
Oh, it is. I'll get it at some point. God, I have to get it.
It's so good. I can't
But I
wait
always
to.
have other games to play.
Oh
So
yeah,
many
there's so
games.
much to play.
So yeah, sounds like a good week of games.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think I'm hoping that we'll get some more Switch news sooner than later.
Oh, they had their Super Bowl ad today.
Yeah, that was good for people to
So that's
see.
a start. So
It
I
was in
mean,
the fourth quarter, which was interesting.
what's today? The 5th.
Fifth, yeah,
So we basically have exactly 1 month.
right.
So
Yeah, and this month, I mean, with teaching
short.
and everything,
Yeah.
it's a short month, but also it's just time flies. I have so much to do
Yeah.
that it's getting ready for baby plus all the stuff we're doing for work is just it goes quickly.
Yeah. Oh, you'll have to play it for me. Put some extra hours into the Switch and really tell me how it is.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to letting you know. I'm not I'm not someone who knows a ton about Zelda. I've played a ton of the different. I've played almost all of the games, like the
In some
mainline
form.
games in
Yeah.
some form. Yeah, but not, not too much. So it looks good, and that Switch looks rad. So
Yeah.
I think tax returns are going to be a lot kinder to us than we thought. So I decided that I'm probably going to keep it, unless Nintendo does something to piss me off.
Yeah.
So yeah. All right, man. So Anthony's
awesome.
at Summer Speak, and I'm at Prof Plays Games. Thanks for listening to episode 71. Wow, 71. That's a lot.
I know.
Crazy. And I just want to point out to everyone, I think I'm just going to keep saying this over and over again because I feel like I need to. Uncharted 4 is the best Uncharted game in the series. I saw some stuff about Uncharted got a new award, and people were talking about how 2 is better than 4, and I was like, you guys, no, it's not. I'm sure it was like better.
I feel like I'd have to go back and play 2 again.
It's so
and
good.
now compare it to 4 to just because
Mhm.
all my 2, I'm like, no, 2 was great, but new 2 is I haven't played 2 since it came out,
Right, and I think
I think I need to. It's very nostalgia based, so
playing 2 when it came out versus playing 4 when it came out, like the experience of playing it in its time period, I think 2 is better in that way. But 4 is the best of the series in my view. So,
4 was really good.
whew, yeah. All right, man. Well, thanks for sharing your time with me tonight.
Thank you.
We'll talk to you next week.
All right, good night, everybody.
Bye, folks.